morning, click the screen.
All right, everyone, so you can hear me. Rich, hello, how are you?
I'm lovely, Philip. How are you?
I'm good.
Looking stunning in that sweater today, looking nice.
Thank you, sir. So, I'm adjusting right now. I'm gonna ask ask the chat, how does it sound?
I'm enjoying your succulents behind you. They're very succulent.
Of course. Well, you built them too, so you know how succulent they are.
They're very, I love them.
Haha. So, guys,
That is good for the inspiration.
how is the audio levels, everybody? Are we good? Because every time I do it on Discord, everyone says that I'm too loud, but I tried to adjust it today, so it sounds good. Are we good, everybody? They say we're good. All right, well, let's begin. So, wow, first of all, an epic moment. I think this has been a long time coming, in the making. People have wanted to see us have a conversation for a very, very long time. And thank you for coming on the show. Thank you for giving us your time. I want to say that.
What interesting. What a coincidence. What are the odds? It's the coincidence of this timing. Just, I'm sure it's all just circumstantial, right?
Oh, of course. There's absolutely no reason why it would be right now, this week, or anything. No, it's just came together that way by complete, luck, dumb luck, right? But you're here. That's respectable. I thank you for your time, and I want to let you know, because I told the audience this before, I know you weren't here, there is absolutely no interruptions. There's no pop-ups on the stream. I'm not going to be reading shout-outs or anything from anyone. The stupid camera is screwing with me right now. But, I'm not going to be doing anything to be distracted. It's you and me. I want to respect you because you're giving me your time. It's not about contributions today. I mean, I will shout them out after we're done. When you're gone, it has nothing to do with you. I'm not going to be breathing out insults or anything like that. That's not what this is, okay?
I don't care. I don't care if he did anyway, but that's fine.
I know you don't care, but it's just the thing. I mean, you're going to give me your time, dude. I got to give you respect for doing that. You could be doing something better with your time, I'm sure. And I appreciate you coming on. Now, before we begin, I want to clear the air here. You have absolutely no preconceived notions of what disappearance is, right? You don't know. We haven't talked about if it's going to be a topic, if it's going to be anything, right? We haven't planned anything, correct?
No, not once. And if you did, I would call you out on it. You didn't. You didn't say a fucking word to me about anything.
Because people have been speculating for the last couple of days, well, since yesterday, and I guess you had let it drop on your show that you were going to appear a couple of days ago before we had really confirmed it, and then I confirmed it yesterday, and everyone's freaking out. This is an evil plot. They've got all this stuff going on, and, this is not legit. But no, it's not the case. We have nothing planned, all right, previously, like Rich, and I have not spoken about this beforehand. This is completely a legit appearance here. And I guess, Rich, before I begin saying anything, just before
you're gonna get shirtless? Are you gonna get shirtless?
Absolutely not. I'm just
Charles, come on.
Do you have anything you would like to just say up front as a starter before we get into anything? Is there anything you want to get off your chest?
I got plenty of questions, but this is your show, so I will let you begin. Oh, I have plenty.
He's got plenty of questions, but it's my show. All right, that's fair enough. That's a good way to start. Okay. All right. So, funny that you bring up, the timing of everything, correct? Because obviously I tried to get you on this show back in the fall, and it fell apart. You did cancel last minute. Then you wanted to come back on, and at that point I wasn't interested. But we're not here to argue about the specifics of what happened there. But I have tried to have you on, and it didn't work out for whatever reason. So now, this week, I've got you on. All right. And a lot of people are like, this is great. It's the first face-to-face of Rich versus Phil, and they're going to either have it out, or maybe this is a plot. They're going to be like buddies now, because the casino has turned on Phil. And now, Phil's probably looking for allies, right? And he's looking for buddies to team up with against the casino, right? That's what everyone's saying. What do you think about that?
Well, I hope to God that you knew from the beginning that was going to happen. I don't think you did, though, because you were essentially in there. You did simp for them for a while, Phil. And one thing I found funny is that things that I've just said for years, you make it like I'm going to stalk you and dry hump your front door in the middle of the night. But when PPP said those things at the time, now you're different because the fallout and, he was calling your wife fat. But back then, it was with them, it was just razzing. What's the difference between when I said something and when PPP said something, which would be just as bad if sometimes not worse? Why was there a difference with that?
Well, there's two things. Number one, if you have some kind of an arrangement with someone, if you're working business-wise with someone, okay, and you know that there's a mutual benefit to being associated or making content, then you give a few inches, right? You'll give a little bit of leeway. You'll let them get a little bit of a rise or get a little bit of a boost or a little bit of whatever it is on your behalf. Because, quite frankly, you're also getting a boost on their behalf by being associated or making content with them. All right? But so it's like everything, there's a limit to that. And what's happened is PPP took it upon himself to keep pushing those boundaries as far as he possibly could, thinking that he was a big shit, basically, and he could get away.
Yeah, but that was at the 11th hour, though, Phil. I mean, there was actually a video where, he tiptoed into confronting him about what he said about your wife, and you gave him a pass. Also, too, there's a video that Mighty D has where you were, and this happened multiple times, it wasn't just in his video, where you would be in their kick chat at like the wee hours of the morning and then text messaging them or messaging them in their chat like a teenage girl. You were gifting subs. You would go back and forth. You always say that your time, what were you doing then? You say your time is valuable. You say you're very busy. But then you were sitting there in their chat, essentially just simping, actually, which is funny. We'll talk more about simping later, but that was very strange to me.
Sure. Well, I guess we've had a good cold open, right? I guess we'll get into it now, right? We'll actually get into the format and what this is actually going to be. So Rich, I have to be honest with you. All right. I'm going to be very honest with you right now. Okay. I do have a plan for this appearance, and it's nothing whatsoever what you think it is. Okay.
But I want you to calm down. Phil, what is it?
I want you to calm down. There's no guests coming on or anything. It's just you and me. I promise you that. Okay? No special,
Okay,
no
that's
shocking twists. No, oh my God. God, you know.
Even if there was a guest, that would be fun.
Okay. Ahem. Featuring. Rich, do you recognize this?
Let me look on.
You not looking. Oh, you don't see me?
Those are your poker chips, Phil, yeah.
Correct. This is the briefcase that was used as a prop during the co-op react that I did with Kino Casino back in the summer when we watched your documentary from June the King. And basically, it was used as a way to humiliate you over the course of that event, where every time that there was something embarrassing that happened, we would take some chips out, right? And at the end, or at the very end, you had one chip left. And I said, this is your chip. I'm going to hold on to it. And I had it on my screen back here. And everything, was around this chip in the casino. And you even called it out in your content. And you said, Phil, you fool. They're not your friends, but you have their memes in your content and all of that. I'm well aware of all that stuff that you said. Okay?
Which was true from the beginning. Everyone saw that coming from a mile away. You were a content mill for them.
So, okay, that's their seed. Fair enough. Now, I bring this up for a reason, all right? And we're going to explain it in just a moment. But I have one other question for you before I actually show you the briefcase, okay? And the question is this. Are you familiar with the king snake? The animal?
Nope.
You're not?
Nope.
The king snake is a creature, a snake, that lures other snakes into its den. Dangerous snakes. Snakes that are known to already be predators. Rattlesnakes and others. The king snake uses this trick in order to make those creatures feel safe And then the king snake surprises those creatures from behind and swallows them whole. The king
Are you swallowing me, Phil?
hold on. The king snake eats other predators whole after laying a trap. Eh?
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the briefcase. This is Andy and Ashton's briefcase. Because, ladies and gentlemen, today on this podcast, this is not the Level 1 podcast featuring RTU. At all. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Level 666 podcast straight out of fucking hell, because today, live on the show, it is time to explain to you how over the last 8 months and the last couple of years, all of my planning has finally come to fruition. I robbed Kino Casino. I'm not kidding. I'm not
Did you rob?
kidding. Everything that you have seen happen, I swear to God, has been part of my plan all along. Because all of you think I'm so fucking stupid. You all thought that this was he got fooled. He had the wool pulled over his eye. I 100% had this planned since day one.
Man,
You don't believe me?
No, I don't believe you. I've been watching you now for over a decade. You were full in on this hook line, and so you called Andy your gaming soulmate.
Okay. Rich, I got the receipts, and we're gonna look at them together right now on this show.
Yeah, I'd like to see these. Yes, Philip.
This is the briefcase of Andy and Ashton, and every single time that we go through a topic, and I expose them for who they really are, they're gonna lose a few chips. And we're gonna see at the end how many chips these two have left over.
This feels like retcon to me, Phil, but sure, prove it to me. Well, sure, let me see.
We're good. No worries, man. All right. So, let's get started, shall we? I'm changing my screens if you don't, because Rich, you can't see any of this, obviously. I'm going to let you know what I'm actually doing here, and you might want to tune into the stream. It's going to be very hard for you to see, but I'm going to be reading.
I'm already I'm already on the stream too.
Okay, let me actually resize you here, so that you can actually be. Here we go. So here's the funny part, folks. All this week, there's been all these threats thrown around by Kino Casino, saying, God forbid that any of these private messages be leaked that I had with Phil, or we had with Phil, because these private messages would be so damning. They would hurt him so bad. Man, he is hiding from it, and we're counting down to when we leak the messages. I already put the messages online. And by the end of this show, I'm going to give everyone the links, and you can all read them for yourselves in full. I'm not kidding. Because this was my...
They all sound like 4D chess. This sounds like damage control.
There's no damage control here.
It sounds like you're just trying to get in front of what they're going to say.
There's nothing to say. As you're going to see in what we're going to go through, everything that they think they have was already planned ahead of time. Every single thing that I told them was either a lie, a half-truth, or something to buy their confidence. So they would think that over time, they would have something on me. Because the truth is, Rich, I'm tired of being pushed around. I really am. All right, I'm going to be honest with you and the internet right now. Back in 2023, when I did that Side Scrollers interview, and that interview went how it did, and I walked out of there thinking, now a lot of people are going to like me. But at least that interview's out there, and I don't have to worry about this bullshit anymore. And he's me.
Because those interviews make you seem disingenuous, Phil. Like, think about how simple...
They're not.
Think about how simple would have been to show like, hey, just show me that Down From, which we know is your account now, which we know you're still using, by the way. Down From the Rafters is my WWE Champions account. My Sweaty Man Addiction is there. And then you were like, I gotta protect my family, which made no sense, Phil. That made zero sense. How does showing the username in a game, that's the equivalent of showing a gamer tag on, like, your Xbox Series X, and you said, and then you do, when you had him on the show, and he said, I forget the exact wording. I just thought of this now. I do have notes, by the way, but he was like, so you weren't telling the truth, and you said to him, it doesn't matter if I was telling the truth or not, it's still an answer.
That's right. Because I wasn't there to give them some kind of an insane, truthful expose on anything. The whole idea was I give you an interview. Doesn't matter if you like it or not, but I'll give you an interview. And then we're supposed to actually continue on with content. I was supposed to be a regular guest on their show, which was actually the original premise of being on it, is that I was going to be on there, add my 2 cents towards topics and everything, get some exposure, maybe bring some viewers over to my channel. Some of my viewers go to their channel. They didn't give me that respect because after the interview, they decided to make endless amounts of content for weeks to months about me, prattling on me and making tons of money. And the problem is that negates the whole premise of the interview. An interview is supposed to be you just ask questions, you give answers, and then the audience has to judge for themselves. Not right after the interview ends, the interviewers say, oh, well, that whole thing was bullshit. We don't like that guy and he's an asshole. Don't believe him. You've completely disingenuously conducted that interview if that's how you behave yourself after, in my opinion. So,
Phil, every radio show or talk show has after shows about the guests that they have on. And you weren't truthful, so their take on you was right. So I'm not really sure where you're coming from with that.
like, fair enough, but that's not even what we're here for today. Okay, and I get it. We already argued about the side scrollers thing for ages. They're not even the topic of discussion here. But after the side scrollers thing, I had enough. I'm had enough of people on the internet always constantly using me as the butt of their joke, talking about me, using me to make money, and doing everything they possibly can in order to kind of, mess with me and just get over on my behalf. And I realized at that point, the only way that I was going to be able to change things was to actually do something for myself, but there's no way that I could actively do it publicly. Because if I did it publicly, then everyone would just laugh. Because everyone thought I was a big meme and a big joke, right? And you stop me like some extent people still do. I got a little bit more of a boost since, last 8 months, but not much. But what no one realized is that I decided for myself to do something with initiative. And I said, I want to try to actually get over on one of these people who's one of these content creators who's constantly a misery broker. And I know you've heard me say that before. I think a misery broker is someone who literally doesn't make content for themselves. All they do is they look at other people's misery. They report on it. They make fun of it. They laugh at it. And then they make a bunch of money. So a day when it's a bad day for someone else is a good day for them. But in reality, if it were for other people, they wouldn't be able to ever have any popularity. It's the only reason they get anything.
So what you're saying, this whole entire thing for your casino arc was 4D chess that you were playing them to the point that you would hurt your own reputation and career?
Rich, not only that, I cased probably 6 or 7 different individuals who I thought I could maybe get in their good graces, figure out how to get in on it, and see what would happen. And after looking at all of these different people, all right, someone in my chat one day had said, did you hear about Kino Casino? Did you hear that they're also making fun of ReviewTat? Just like you are, or just like he's making fun of you and back and forth. And did you hear that they're constantly making fun of him in their content? Okay. And I said, no, I don't know anything about these guys. I didn't. But I went over there and I actually watched their content once. And I knew from the first moment that I started watching their show, this was going to be the one that was going to work. If I was going to try to make this happen. Okay. Now, Rich, I'm going to be honest with you again. You have unwittingly been a part of this since day one. Because you were the reason that I contacted them. You were the reason why I affiliated with them. The whole co-op react to your...
Well, if that's one thing that Andy said was true, I wasn't as unwitting as you think. But yes, Ashton kept on saying that you went to him. Now I see that is actually accurate.
Oh, you're gonna see it's accurate because I'm gonna show you all of it. I have it all right here, and we're gonna look at it together. But I just need everyone to understand what the premise is and what's going on here. Is that the whole idea was to get in the good graces of the casino, to find a way to collab that was gonna get me over, that was gonna get me some popularity, make me some money. But also at the same time, make them think I'm some kind of a fucking idiot. So that they will always think that I'm indebted to them, that I'm always going to do what they say, because I know how they are. Let's be honest here. We know Ashton, we know Andy. These guys are not squeaky clean. These guys have burned every bridge. They don't have friends. Yet
you were still absolutely dying to work with them, though.
Oh, I'm dying to work with them. They were a means for me to finally get out of the position that I was in, being the whipping boy of the internet. And that was the intention from day one. Everything that I laid out, every conversation I had with them, every late night bullshit session I had with them when I should have been asleep, every time I was on their streams, kissing their butt, throwing them super memberships or whatever, was all part of this. And they think they have something on me. They're insane. How they didn't know that everything I was saying was fake, I don't know. Because, I'll give you some examples here. I said my wife was sick and she had found God. And now because of that, I can't do this idea that you came up with. And they bought it. I said, oh, my rabbit is sick, so I can't do the show today. My mom is sick, so I have to fly. I keep saying sick, like every excuse was someone's sick. Yet they bought it every time. Every fucking does.
Or you were just nervous to go do it, so you canceled on it.
But the point I'm making here is I basically manipulated them as much as I could to make them do what I wanted. I got what I wanted. And then when I knew they were going to eventually turn on me, because we all knew that from the get-go, right? We knew they were going to turn.
That's kind of just gross, too, Philly. You would say that your family members were sick to get out of doing things with him?
Oh, yeah, I went up on. No. It's not to get out of doing things with them. It's to basically have a way to make them believe that everything I'm saying is true. Because no one is going to think that someone's going to just pull it out of their ass. But to be the snake, you have to be the better snake, Rich. It's the only way to do it. You have to make them believe the lies. And man, did I pull the wool over their eyes for the last 8 months until finally I had enough. And the truth is, I had enough for 2 reasons. Number 1, the disrespect to my family. And number 2, because I wasn't getting anything out of collaboration anymore. These guys, all right, have some of the worst ideas I've ever seen for content. They were pitching ideas that would have worked, but they didn't have any clout to make the ideas happen. They legitimately couldn't make anything work that would have made us money. It was cancellation, denial, after. It was like endless.
Philip, I'm not a fan of the casino, but they did have the clout and the money to make things happen. I think the only person believing this in this stream right now is you. I don't...
Rish,
how do you do so? You're trying to tell me to believe that for the past 8 months, when you were sitting there gifting them subs, simping for them, like hours upon hours on end, trying to get them to pay attention to you, like they were Beavis and Butthead and you were Stewart, that this was all some big plan to get vengeance on people that if you never affiliated with, you would be in a better position than you are now. You went, Phil. It's just a fact you saw that there was an opportunity there. They feigned friendship with you. You called Andy Warski your gaming soulmate. You were so into all this to the point that you let them shame you. And now in the end, after all is said and done, you come out on the other end looking worse, and you're trying to tell me that this is 4D chats. Come on, Phil.
Rich, oh my God. I could never possibly come out at the end of anything looking worse. You understand that, right? Like, I have been the joke of the internet for over a decade. No one listens to me. Even when I have valid things to say, they do that stupid meme that's like, oh, the guy that you hate the most or the worst guy you know finally made a good comment, right? So, there's nothing to lose. There was only anything to gain. My viewers don't give two shits about the drama. At all for you. They don't want the drama. And that's why when it started to get to the point where these guys wanted me to completely change who I was, all of my content, into drama content, that's when I basically broke it off and they completely lost their minds because they're so angry that I was the one in charge of the situation all along and not them. All right? Enough of us were chatting about this.
And you, by the way, are in charge of the situation. You absolutely weren't.
You feel free to go ahead. You feel free to chime in. I'm okay with this. All right? You feel free to chime in whenever you want. But the reason you're here is very simple. I want you to witness this going down, okay? And you are the one who basically started the whole thing with me reaching out to them and us reacting to your react. So, your documentary, excuse me. So it's only fair that you be a part of this. You understand where I'm coming from? You think that that's a fair thing to have you here?
Sure, Phil. Let's see what you got, boy. Let's see.
All right. So it's already been said. I didn't realize that they had said this, but we'll go ahead and we'll show it anyway. And by the way, because I'm going to start showing stuff, everybody. FYI, at the very end of this show, I am going to give you all the links to the raw files that contain all of the DMs between myself, PPP, and Andy. So you can all read them in the entirety for yourself. All right? So that way there's no shock. There's he hid something. He edited anything. I've edited nothing. This is all 100% unedited. You're going to be able to watch. And appropriately, they're all nicely in PDF files, which makes sense since those guys have been sweeping for PDFs for quite some time. So now you can read all their logs for yourself online. Okay. So we start off with the very first time that I ever talked to them. And this, I guess they've already admitted to this, that it was me that reached out to them. Okay. In a DM, basically saying, hey, is this the host of Kino Casino? I'm trying to find a way to talk to the guys, but I can't find anything official. Okay. And so we had a conversation back and forth. Of course, the first thing we're talking about is you, Rich. I saw your vid about Review Tech threatening June the King. Today I have my take on it on my podcast. And I basically used you as the way to bridge that gap and get that initial introduction with these guys. In fact, the whole idea of us.
So you're the Batman. You're the Batman of drama merchants, going selflessly to take them down.
You can call it whatever you want. You really can. But the point here is, I was the one who initiated the contact. I was the one who actually suggested the react to your documentary. They had kind of alluded to it on their show, but they never thought it would happen because they never spoken to me before. So I contacted them and I said, let's do it. This is a genius idea. I knew that was going to make money for both of us. I knew that was going to be big. It was going to bring me notoriety. It was going to bring them notoriety. I'm the one who put that great idea out there and made it happen. All right? It was me, not them. It was my actual making it happen that started this whole thing and got this popularity train rolling. Now,
there's a few pages here. I was going back. Oh, wait. Okay, Phil, I got a pin to pop on this. Here's what I think. I think you just your hate boner for me was throbbing. You saw that they were wiping the fucking floor with me and you wanted in on it. And when they embraced you and treated you like one of the whack pack on Howard Stern, you got a taste of more money. You thought they feigned friendship with you, which you bought into, at least is what it seems like. No, better yet, I think it was friendship, and I think you saw that you were getting money, so you, like, your nose was Andy Worski's asshole now, must be spread out maybe like another 2 inches, because your nose was so deep in there. Like, what I think you're doing now, as a matter of fact, I guarantee what you're doing now, is because you know that this is disastrous for you, that you're trying to be like, aha, all along it was my master plan. It was not your master plan, Phil. It wasn't. And look, that's fine, but I'm just not going to believe it. I don't think anybody with like an upper double-digit IQ will believe it.
So, We have 2 files here, and I'm just seeing if I can actually show you. So, I don't know if you can see them on the screen, everybody. Here, I'm going to try to get to see her. So this is the file of me talking with Andy in DMs. Okay? This is all of them, back to back, 182 kilobytes. The one of me talking with PPP, 1,031 kilobytes. Why?
When did you make these, Phil? What did go to right click on them, go to properties. When is the search and data vs?
Where's properties on here? There you go.
You right click on that. You right click on whatever file you're clicking it.
Just made them a couple days ago. Here it is. I got them off my X archives, and I used a third-party app to turn them into PDF files so that we could actually see them today, because or else you have to be in a web browser to see them. So, the point I'm making why I brought that up is I almost never talk to Andy at all. Almost never. Andy is kind of the guy from what I'm to understand. He's the tech guy, alright? He's the guy that gets everything together, that the data runs the show. Well, PPP is the guy who actually gets the ideas, talks to people, wrangles them in, etc. I talk to PPP about 40,000 times more than I ever talk to Andy, and it's hilarious because the internet has this misconception that like I'm bros with Andy, and we always talk behind the scenes about games. We almost never talked at all. I have the endless folders here of me talking to PPP about all the stuff we did. I have a tiny folder of the few things I ever talked to Andy about. It's just a complete fallacy. But that's what people want to believe because they want to think that like I was his best friend or something. Andy, I'll be honest, I think that PPP is kind of the brains, while Andy is just kind of the operations. You know what I'm saying? Like, never did Andy contact me about an idea. Never was he the go-between. It was always PPP, who was the guy who was talking to me about everything the entire time. Okay?
So what I'd like to do is what did you like to do, Phil? You were the ones who were trying to make it like they were your best. So you were saying even when you defended them and went to bat for them with the numerous clips that are out there, and on your own channel, I've seen them because you always say it's always the track when they're like, oh, they're just razzing me. This was so you were humiliating yourself to get like a master plan of vengeance back on them.
I 1,000,000% knew they were going to turn on me eventually. There was no way they were never going to because they've done it to everyone. They've burned every bridge. They do whatever they need for personal gain. And everyone knows this. Like you said, you knew it. Everyone else knew it. But everyone apparently thought I was the dumbest motherfucker on the planet. I'm not. I knew exactly what was going on from day one. They seemed to be the only ones who didn't get it. They thought I was that.
Well, that's right.
There's a difference between desperation and actually finally taking control of your destiny, which I decided to do for once instead of just being stomped.
By everybody, the best way to take control of your destiny is to not get yourself involved in that. The best way to take control of your destiny is to do rewards for your audience that isn't you eating pizza. Like, those are ways to control your destiny. The way to control your destiny is to make content that's more entertaining. You could say I'm a clown, I'm a buffoon all you want to, but me getting the tattoo of you near my left ass cheek as you as Dracula from Castlevania is bizarre. Maybe it's a little gay too, that's okay. But people want entertainment, and right now you're not. Oh, I know we're going a little off topic here.
Huh?
You're not offering it. Did you see the video where someone said that you the middle manager, Phil? Did you see that video?
No, I don't watch any of those videos. I have no time for it. I'm busy doing just this thing here.
Think about it though. It's not. Don't even take it as an insult. There's truth to it where you're talking about a pizza party. Like it's like if you're working at commission sales and you hit a goal, but the reward is your audience watches you eat pizza. Yeah, you see where that's insane.
Rich, there's entire businesses on the internet based on people eating food on camera. You realize this, right?
But Phil, okay, I understand what you're saying, but I was like, let me go see his DSP. Where do you have your DSP? Tries it on DSP Reacts, right? Yeah, that's where you put them. One of them at most got 2,000 views. You probably made like 75 cents off of it.
Yeah, because that's not the business. That's the reward. Get it? I've already raised the funding for it, so I can do it.
It's the opposite of what you're thinking. So then you're solidifying what I'm saying, that the reward for your audience is to watch you eat something that they could drive down the street and get themselves.
Because that's what they want. When they watch me do those videos, they see me try a product that maybe they will then get because they want to try it. And numerous people over the years have said, hey, I saw you try that and I went and got it. Man, it was good. Or the flip side, man, I couldn't believe it was that bad. I had to try it for myself and man, it was really bad. Or, hey, I was going to get that, but I didn't because I saw your video and now I realize it's bad. So thanks for saving me the trip and the money. But we're not here to argue about the validity of DSP Tries It. We're here to take a look at the receipt.
Can we talk about your microphone setup too as well?
You cares about my microphone setup? What are you talking about?
Because you've given me a lot of flack about this microphone setup, but this is actually technically the correct way.
In front of me, I have 8 months of private conversations with the casino, exposing them for their idiotic attitudes, the things that they said to insult people that will get them in hot water. We've got all kinds of, you want to talk about my microphone? You're for real, right?
Well, yeah, because it kind of ties into that. Like, I know you're being disingenuous, making it like this is a master plan. And you're evil with small things. It's not about who gives a shit about the microphone. Who gives? But the point is that you're disingenuous, Phil. First off, you're not using it. Hold on one second. Go ahead, finish. Go ahead. Go. Actually, I need a sip of my luscious drink here. Wow. You're using your dynamic microphone right now like a shotgun mic. Actually, if you watch PPP, he also has a dynamic microphone like you and I have. If you watch other podcasters, this is how you're supposed to have the mic. It's also supposed to be very close to your mouth because dynamic microphones mitigate how much audio is around the room.
I know. I'm well aware of this, Rich. I can do it too.
But you're not, though, because I'm looking at you right now on screen.
Because I don't want the mic up my ass when I do my podcast, Rich. It still sounds good, and I don't have to suck the mic.
Said, no, it doesn't. Your mic actually sounds worse than your previous mic. Many people have said it. You're using your mic wrong, and I feel like you're using your mic wrong just out of pride to get back at me and other people that are telling you that Phil, put the mic, get a different stand, put it so it's here near your mouth, and you don't have to have these 8 billion different filters in OBS that makes it sound like you sound like you're going through puberty again. Your voice sounded significantly fuller and better before. And who cares about the mic? It stand in and of itself. It just shows, Phil, how you're disingenuous and why I can't believe you about this whole matter.
Mr. Bullhead, the mic is what shows I'm disingenuous. And that's why you can't believe the evidence I'm about to show you.
Yes. Also, we could go into, too, when you got that mini PC, when you just make up facts off the top of your head.
Oh, if anything, alright, let it be said, I tried to get Rich involved in this because I thought he would add something. I thought he'd be interested in what I've done here. But I guess he's more, I'm more interested in little idiosyncrasies of nonsense. This is what he thinks is entertaining to the internet.
Oh, this is amazing. Not idiosyncrasy. It's not idiosyncrasies. Phil, can I ask a question? Now, that mic stand that boom arm that you got, you realize I actually found that I have it right here. You spent how many hours and you ended up breaking the boom arm, right? Why do you make your audience, do your work for you? Instead of you looking up, there is a Shure broadcast one mic. Hold on, don't say folks yet. Don't say folks yet. There's a 1 and 30-second mic video. Why couldn't you look that up instead of having a multi-hour stream where your audience's time you have to understand is valuable? Like, I got a flash cart that I found in a drawer. I had to find new firmware for it. Not going to get. Point being is that I looked into things myself, looked it up myself. I didn't fire up a stream and say, hey guys, watch me be a dumbass and look how to make this flash cart work. These all tie into why anyone with a modest intelligence is not going to be like, man, Phil was getting the one up on them. Because you. What? Yes, please talk to me, Phil.
For a decade, you had a channel called Review Tech USA. And in the last 5 minutes that you have wasted of everyone's time. You have reviewed more tech than you did in your entire decade on your own channel.
Okay, but that still doesn't take away from what I'm saying right now.
You are the master of bad timing and how to make things that are exciting incredibly fucking boring. Good God, man. Don't you understand?
How is it boring when I'm saying things like you?
Oh my God.
You said at you.
Aliens would be landing outside and you would be talking about how your stove is malfunctioning. Like, what the f*** are you talking about? Well, we are not here to talk about a microphone. You incredible buffoon. Could you stop for 5 seconds?
And the show angry started.
Wasting everyone's time so we can dash here to hunk about the subject matter.
I am not angry. You also talk to what I'm trying to tell you, Phil, is that you see why it's hard to believe you. You also just recently said you can't have another Castlevania marathon. There's only 4 classic Castlevania games.
Rich,
is that true, Phil?
We have several topics to choose from. All right, we do. I would like to let you choose a topic that we can delve into first. Okay, which topic would you like to delve into? We've got Muta. It's a Gundam, which is a nice one, because apparently It's a Gundam was coming on their show on Friday, so you'd be interested to see what she has to say about him.
Shout out to It's a Gundam. He's my dude. Continue.
Medicare, and how they basically ball suck this guy constantly, and think that he's the end-all be-all of content. 2 entire folders of their incredibly awful ideas that I had to keep shutting down because they were so bad. PPP incredibly embarrassing himself, because he actually thought that, like, we were, like, bosom buddies, or possibly he's gay, I'm not sure. We'd have to see there. And then, basically how it fell apart, also things that they said about Keemstar that I think you'll find pretty interesting. Or we could just look at the very few things that I talked about with Worski. Because we barely ever spoke. I'm telling you, like, it was such minuscule stuff.
We already, like, it was it. Are any of those as embarrassing as when you pressure your audience to donate so your wife doesn't have to cook dinner?
Oh, they're actually way more embarrassing. Because I do that publicly as an act to entertain, while these things were done behind the scenes in good confidence. So that's the difference.
All right, so you know what, Phil? Show me something, man. Show me. What? I want you to show me why you called strangely Lex a slut too, when I show for skin isn't better. I show that for skin than
That's not in here, because that just happened recently. We didn't even talk about that behind the scenes. We only talked about that on the show. So what you've seen there on, Smart Guys,
there's nothing to see.
There was nothing behind the scenes to talk about. So.
That was just you being salty, but okay.
So what would you like to talk about here? Or should I just pick one? By the way, for the record, everyone's telling me to just dump you from the show because you've already derailed it so poorly, and they just want me to do this for myself. But I'm keeping you on here out of good faith. So, what would you like to do?
Phil, you have over 1,300 viewers right now. I'm not seeing, the only one seeing is maybe because a couple people want Ethan Ralph to come on, but no one's saying to dump me from the show. This is the most viewership. Like, you would need to do like 6 streams to get this much viewership.
They're not here for you, though, Rich. They're not here for you. To tell you.
So you get this much viewership every day?
No, it's because I'm doing what I'm doing right now. You being honest, I'm doing this as a service to you because I did use you as the way to get this entire arc started. So I felt like it would be a respectful thing to do to have you on the show while I go through this. But I mean,
if you're not interested, press 1 if you want me to stay, press 2 if you want me to go.
So, if you're not interested, if you just want to talk about mics and shit, we could do that on another show, but that would not be this one. Okay? So what would you like to do?
Nah, it's Phil, there's mostly 1s here, Phil. There's only a handful of 2s.
Okay. Are you going to pick a topic? Or do I pick, or do I dump you from the show? Those are the 3 options. You pick, I pick, or you get dumped. What would you like to do?
You could pick a topic, and then I'll pick the next one. How about that? Let me ask you a question. Oh, no, here's a good one. You keep on saying, even recently, in a video you just made a few weeks ago, that I'm on drugs when I don't even take edibles anymore. I haven't for the past 5 months.
Why do I believe that? I do believe that you're off drugs. Right now, you seem pretty coherent and clear, so, absolutely, that's you.
Now, definitely not on you. This wasn't even a month ago. It was February 24th. You've even said that I drank weed seltzers. Why would you say things that aren't true? That you don't know about?
From what I've seen on your shooms, you were drinking weed seltzers in the past. I don't know specifically what you're referencing, so I can't answer.
Phil, I've never had a weed seltzer in my entire life.
Stu, I didn't know that. Do you want me to pick a top?
Okay, you didn't pick one. You could pick it. You didn't know that, but you went with it, though. Okay.
So we'll start at the beginning. The whole point here, and this is what I want you guys to understand, is when I started working with the casino, all right, the big idea was the co-op react to Rich's documentary. And that was the gold mine, and we all knew it, right? We knew this was going to be the big one, right? And then after that happened, it's like, well, what are we going to do next? And for me, it's like, well, you guys know what I can do. I play games. I could do that. So anything gaming related, I'm down for. But Dave said, well, we're the drama guys, right? We're going to come up with all these ideas of guests and things that you're going to interact with. So the very first one they had is, let's hit right now. Let's strike when the iron is hot. Let's actually get Muta to do a co-op with us. We're going to do Chain Together with Muta, who's talked about you over and over the years. And it's going to be epic. It's going to be so awesome that Muta is going to be in the content. Okay? And so here it is. We thought that we would do Chain Together, and, they say Muta is going to be in it because he's like the biggest guy in their Rolex. Okay, I'm just paraphrasing because we don't want to read word for word here. Like I said, I'm going to drop the files at the end of the show so everyone can read them for themselves. Word for word, that's why there's dates and everything here. Okay? There was a little bit of nonsense and it was my fault because accidentally I didn't even know I had Muta blocked on Twitter, and I already publicly apologize for that. I didn't know that. So here is what ends up happening after hyping this up that we're going to do Chain Together with Muta. Muta cancels last second. Like literally last second. Now, doesn't tell me why Muta canceled, but says, well, we'll try to reschedule, but we want to try to rush it before the end of the month. What ends up happening, all right, is Muta literally stops talking to these guys entirely. 100%. Won't answer them, won't get back to them. Then,
devastating.
Within one day, Muta deletes his entire Twitter account. Now, I had been talking only once. I had a kind of conversation with Muta behind the scenes, and he had actually publicly apologized to me and said, hey, FYI, if the only thing that's really bad about you is that you've been begging for contributions on the internet and you are a little dishonest with your viewers, I'm okay with, that's fine, let's jump on, let's do this, Chain Together gameplay or whatever with the casino. But then within 24 hours, the guy backs out of it and deletes his entire Twitter account. So immediately, the first idea that I'm going to do and work with these guys,
there wasn't even a reason. Okay, this is boring. That wasn't a reason that he deleted the Twitter.
Oh, you know what he said? I know exactly what he said. It was because of all the harassment he got and that people were being so nasty about certain things. I get that. I'm not saying that's why he deleted his Twitter account. I'm saying this is the first actual thing that happened with these guys after the co-op react to your documentary. This is supposed to be our first big thing, and immediately it falls apart. Like, immediately, it just doesn't happen. They can't contact the guy. They can't get him back. For some reason, this is supposed to be the biggest guy in the Rolodex. He's ghosting them now. Okay? So now we'll move on. I think there was like one more here, but these are just me going through with them saying, look, he deleted his Twitter. I hope it had nothing to do with us. And you know what? So Worski says, I think he chickened out because he can't handle the heat. That's what Worski said right here, that Muta can't handle the heat of doing it.
These are all nothing burgers, but where is the damning stuff here?
We're going through a lot of stuff. Relax. Ha ha ha. Relax. And in here, well, I'm trying to find, he basically says, I think that, this is Josh Moon. He says that basically the detractors contacted Muta en masse, and he thinks that he pussied out because your detractors contacted him. That's what PPP says. Okay.
Screen share that link that I sent you. I want you to explain it to me.
I'm not sent you. You're sharing any links. We're not doing any bullshit that you want to do. It's not your show.
Why is you not doing, it's not my show, but you brought me on it. So I think, Phil, you thought this is going to be like some battered wife. Like, yes, let's go. Like, I don't care about I really don't give a shit. I don't care about.
Okay. So I guess we'll continue on. Let me go ahead and get rid of this. I tried, everyone. Really, I did. I tried to make it entertaining. That man is not entertaining in any way, shape, or form. I really wanted to give it an honest shake, but, he's an idiot. Okay? wow. I mean, he really did not want to play ball. He did not want to have any fun. That guy is a loser. That's sad, because I was trying. I mean, not that I want to be that guy's best friend or anything, but I mean, holy shit, dude. Like, that was pathetically bad. Like, why can't you just shut up and just ride what we're doing here and go with the idea? But what else can I say? I mean, that was awful.
Thank you everyone for watching, and I will see you on the next one.
Into a child. Viewers laughing, can't stand still. DSP zest brings a thrill.